You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from a tiny room at the back of the tiniest, the loneliest whorehouse in Texas.
I don't know, but it's awfully quiet around here.
Woo! This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah. Oof, pre-recorded intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Pre-recorded Bob.
Nice, Bob in a can. Everybody should have some. All right, I'm Bill Sweeney. Across from me right there, that's my buddy Jay.
That's right, motherfuckers.
Everybody's uncle at the same time, nobody's uncle.
No fucking John Goodman quotes today.
Oh, shit.
Because we got two people absent.
Well, let's see. Ed? Oh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And I guess you already know Brother Bob's gone, too, so it's like, yeah.
But it's still going to sound like there's 9 people here.
Jesus Christ, all of our personalities are definitely going to come out today.
A little breathing room here.
I mean, it's kind of nice. You can sit straight across from me today, I could look at you in the eyes. Try not to, actually. I'm doing it now. It's already weird.
I can actually relax.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm stretching out. I got my cigar burning.
Nice. Blowing it wherever you want. You don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about anybody's face.
Well, I don't worry about that anyway.
Nah, well, it's only me. So, all right. So it's me versus Jay this week. We'll see how this goes.
Oh, it's gonna go great.
It's gonna go great.
It's already phenomenal. It's already fine.
What was crazy was that. So it starts out where Brother Bob, he works Saturdays. He got pulled in for a double. It finally swung his way. We always knew it would. At some point, it's kind of a surprise it took this long. So he got hit with a double at work.
There it is.
And then Ed called me up just a little while ago and was just like, I'm not feeling good. I'm really not feeling good. I hate to do it, but I gotta bang out. And I was like, yo, man, just do you. Be safe, be healthy, take care of yourself, rest up or something, So
Pussy.
Yeah, well,
Pussy.
I don't know. He sounded pretty down skis. So we hope he's feeling better and he's in here next week,
Right.
The two of them. So
we'll deal with it next week.
So, I see that you don't have a glass of alcohol.
Oh shit!
You were really running behind today.
I was running behind.
I'll cover while you go get yourself set up.
Yes. Go down the thing.
Yeah, I'll do the official business.
Go down the thing.
Official business is basically this is episode 168. We've got news and stuff like that, nerd news, pop culture stuff. We got a chat room game for the kids. You can leave us a voicemail if you like to do that. We've got a couple of voicemails we're going to get to later, which reminds me, I got to set up my phone on the sneak while we're running along here. You can also send it as an email. And I say this to the people who are listening live in the chat room. If you didn't do it, you can still do it. There's time before we get to that segment. You can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
Podcast at Wicked Theory.
There you go. Jay's reminding me right now of Tom Cruise in Cocktail. He's whipping up a drink in a Fast Furious, like on his first day. Remember when Tom Cruise first gets there?
Yes,
and he's like, he doesn't know what to do, but he thinks he's the shit, and he's not the shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but I just mean the panic in general. Not that you're not the shit, Jay. I think you're... Okay, very good. People, if you don't like Spotify, we're on Spotify nowadays. Check out the DCTV report every week. This week, it's Ed and Sarah. They're talking all about Preacher again and how much they're loving it and liking it. Covering Batman the Animated Series in a retro segment. They also do all kinds of DCTV news updates. A lot of those shows are on hiatus, but if you want to know what's going on, where they're headed, you should really be checking out Ed and Sarah's news rundowns. They do a lot of good stuff over there.
Sarah, smile. Won't you smile a while for me, Sarah? Smile.
All right, copyright violation on that one. And all of a sudden, we're not going to be able to monetize. We don't monetize anything. All right, so Uncle Jay, how's the real thing going? I see we got your buddy Wes in there. Not to get too ahead of things, but I see your buddy Wes in
Wes Weezer, what's going on, Chiefy Chief?
He's running the Real Thing page over on Facebook.
So the Real Thing and More, as it's called now.
Yeah.
Because we opened it up a little bit to not just movies. We're starting to tag all pop culture elements.
Nice.
Video games, TV.
It's probably like here, where it's like the cool stuff.
Basically, yeah.
You know,
and
it's all about
everybody's
cool stuff.
Free to come on in. Wes is a posting fiend over there, and I'm happy he's doing that, and he's putting in overtime on this, and I'm very happy that he's got my back on that because I've been busy.
I feel like it might still be tagged as a closed group.
It might be. You know, I think maybe we should talk about maybe opening it up a little bit, but we don't want a lot of fucking trolls.
No,
coming in there.
absolutely not. But I think if we're gonna sit here and say to people, just go there and they can tag or something,
I think
right?
that they can
Like request, right?
Like request to
Yeah,
come
there's
in.
something because even though it's closed, it's like you can request, and so I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
I'm sure we'll just let people in because most people are probably finding it from us right
But
now.
there's a couple people that I haven't spoken to in a while. They came back. So yeah, I'm wishing for the best,
I've seen some familiar faces over there.
and I want to say really thanks, Wes, for
Wes Weezer.
Wes Weezer.
Weezer.
Not that we don't love Wesley Ryan Gaskins any
No,
less.
but I mean, speaking of the chat room, it is turning into a Wes versus Wes situation. We're going to have to start going by last names only. It's
Weezer.
It's Weezer versus Gaskins in the chat room.
But seriously, get on over there.
it
That
really
means
is going to. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That means Wesley Gaskins too. Get yourself over there, Chief.
Yeah.
And be a posting fiend because these guys are like-minded.
Yeah, we're trying to, I don't get me wrong. I've been skimming it and stuff like that.
Me too.
I'm usually at work and I forget to kind of post and make my presence known. I'll put likes sometimes. So
And I'm acting now, so I'm not around as much. But get in there and,
in the park.
let's get some good banter going.
So here's where we're gonna start it up, though, kids. It's time. Who else is in the chat room? We got Wesley in there of two varieties. We got two varieties of Wes.
All right, we got Palmer that don't count,
Nope.
and and then we got Benny Livewire.
Benny live
And
wire.
James will be poking in about any minute.
I'm sure.
Yelling and screaming.
I'm sure.
So
Well, Agent Palmer's going to drop the chat room game in there. And in honor of today being National New Jersey Day. I couldn't even get it out.
I'm from Jersey. I don't even know it.
Yeah, well, it's a stupid thing that popped up on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it popped up late in the day, but it's National New Jersey Day, supposedly.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you've noticed this on Twitter, but every day is like a national something or other day.
Yeah, of course.
And every time one of these comes up, it seems like a new one, and it's like, So people just kind of name these things, and it takes on.
National Sidewalk Day.
You know what I mean? Exactly. That's what I'm waiting for, And National, Paperclip Day. Let's just all appreciate paperclips.
National Clothespin.
I mean, if we're gonna on a macaroni and cheese for how amazing it is, I don't think we can dismiss the paperclip. I'm gonna make a debate. I'm gonna start this debate of macaroni and cheese versus paperclips. Which one is more important? But we don't have to do it here.
No.
Just for the. I want to start that as like a web thing. You know how like sometimes there's like these endless debates that go on. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But let's get these kids something to do. How about a game?
All right.
What do you like? What did I put in there this week there?
So make it a Jersey movie.
Yeah.
And the examples include To Live and Die in New Jersey,
Well, To Live and Die in NJ.
Atlantic City Jones, and the Turnpike of Doom. That should be like my life story because that fucking Turnpike sucks ass.
Not for nothing, I came up with the second one and I was like trying hard not to pat myself on the back a little bit. And I was like, this feels like a great fucking short film. A great
With
parody
me,
thing.
starring
Well, that's
me.
what I mean. Atlantic City Jones and the Turnpike of Doom. Don't make me go get my Indiana Jones hat out of the back. And
I got one too, so
cool,
I don't have it with me.
That's true.
Stetson.
Yeah. That's what I got. I got some bullshit one.
Stetson fedoras.
So, well, this is unusual.
It's not for me. I'm having a good time.
No, I just mean you don't feel it all of a sudden where it's
No.
like, wow,
I don't.
It's just, I'm just noticing it again. Is
I'm
all
not
I'm saying.
angry yet.
You know what I mean? Like there's nobody else here. It's just
Ed
me
already
and you.
made me upset like 4 times by this time. At 7:10, he upset me like 3 times.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting a little annoying. I talked to him on the phone about that. I was like, yeah, I think that bit's runs its course. He's like, all right. I'm like, try not to do it anymore, all right? Because I got it, and we did it 2 weeks in a row, and it's very inside.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? To a degree, and it's like, all right, I get it, buddy. Enough.
Not even apostrophe enough.
Apostrophes enough. But, all right. So
Talk to
so
us.
it's just the two of us, kids. I guess what we'll do is we'll just jump into the news. Usually we don't get through it this fast, but that's why I'm feeling like,
Well, we can sing the song "Two of Us" by the Beatles if you want. Give us some time. Two of us driving nowhere, spending someone's hard-earned fucking day. Meanwhile,
Nah, I'll pass on that.
the cigar's good and the scotch is good.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna jump into some news.
Parker! Where are those pictures, Parker?
So, you want to
Yeah.
go first?
I'll just jump right into it.
All right.
Just to jump right into it with some bullshit. I'm just gonna say like, I'm happy, not happy. Like it's one of these kind of things. So
This is about
I got
a film we spoke about last week.
like 2 weeks ago, something like that. Like I brought up TimeBandits probably for like the millionth time in my life. You know what I mean? But like so, like Apple TV, Apple Networks, whatever productions, whatever they are now, because they're putting money into original programming. They're gonna make a TimeBandits thing. They they recently acquired the rights, and it's like, all right, cool.
As a TV series.
Yeah, it's a TV series, but like I'm sure it'll be locked up under whatever, Apple service they have, or wherever they put it, their streaming or the iTunes, whatever, however they put out their TV shows.
Do you know who produced the first TimeBandits?
Ichabod. I'm trying to think of like a real old man name.
No, we just mentioned the group right before. It was George Harrison
Oh,
from the Beatles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it is a very English whole production type thing.
And that's the thing too, because I don't know if it was held up in his estate or whatnot. Too,
Right, sure.
Because George Harrison and I think his partner's name was Dennis O'Brien. He created a film production company called Handmade Films.
Sure.
And he actually shelled out the cash for
For a
Monty
bunch
Python's
of
Life of
okay,
Brian
yeah.
because he wanted to see it.
Sure, right, yeah.
And so
yeah.
he got in good with the Python group. So I think he produced the Timebandits. There's another one. I
Other
believe.
Terry Gilliam stuff maybe, because I feel like I've seen the handmade company logo and
Handmade,
stuff.
yeah.
Productions.
So I don't know if this was like tied in because I had heard that they wanted to resurrect Timebandits.
Yeah.
I heard that about 10 years ago.
Right.
So who knows if that was tied into the Harrison estate or not. But you know what? Maybe it's time. It's been 36 years.
I can see it.
81 maybe?
So basically, it was Terry Gilliam. It was a 1980 fantasy film. It was time traveling stuff with an 11-year-old kid. It's very European. It's almost got. It's like the. It's very. You know what? It's like the English kind of spin on all of the Spielberg-y kind of kid adventure movies of the
Yeah,
time.
I would buy
like, you know
that.
what I mean? Like, well, there was a run of those kinds of movies where they were like quasi PG-13-ish.
Yeah.
And like, they all centered on a young kid, boy or girl, and it was some fantastic adventure. And sometimes they dumped a lot of money into them. And
With these asshole small people.
yeah, well, that's what's great. You know what I mean?
Because they're such assholes.
And they're all, and I'm skimming over the article here, and which is reminding me of stuff, and that they all used to work for the Supreme Being,
Right.
And they've got a map that charts all the holes in the space-time fabric, and they pretty much jump through these holes and then loot
Right.
and steal or cause havoc and just fuck around. They're like fucking
they're
just
stealing shit.
yeah, they're like dreadnoughts basically from
Yeah,
G.I. Joe. Like we don't know really what the plan is, like what the end goal is, but we're just gonna bounce around because it's what we do. You know what I mean? Like,
It's such a strange film too, but it's
Yeah.
so good. If anybody's haven't seen that original, there's a criterion to that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it's worth the purchase.
it's such the perfect structure for a TV series. It's like a bunch of other TV shows where it's just like let's just constantly be just in a different ancient era or whatever, and we're just bouncing around through time.
Right.
So people who are really into that are probably very excited about that. So that's the only one that I had of my own, but we've got stuff in here
We got big news.
from I got we got stuff in here before we get because let's close it down
Close it down with the big news.
yeah, close it down with the big news, and then we'll just go to Bob. Bob actually had something. Bob?
So, guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. Well, I'll cover it for you. So this week, turns out that on the Blacklist, you know what the Blacklist is?
Yeah,
for
that's
screenwriting.
that is the TV show that Ed compared Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom to?
I don't recall.
Yes.
But my point being that the blacklist is also a thing that exists on in Hollywood, which is kind of like, the hot scripts.
Oh, like the Hollywood blacklist.
The Hollywood blacklist. And so, but it's blown up to where those same people who started the email thing, because you know how that whole thing worked, where it was one Hollywood exec who kind of was like getting frustrated that like a lot of good scripts kind of weren't getting the attention they kind of deserved.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what he did was he asked a bunch of peers to just send me like the list of what you think are the best scripts that like no one's going to make, but it's like a sin that people aren't making them. Like, what's the really hot script that like no one's taking a chance on this?
There's a lot of them.
But there's a lot of them. There's a shit ton. So, but anyway, up in the upper echelon of Hollywood, like this kind of email thing was. Kind of got real buzzy, and it's like a lot of movies got made because of it, because it kind of brought a little extra attention to these movies and made people second guess and really look at it. Well, if everybody's saying that this is really good, because everybody's giving me like these same kind of movies are cropping up.
Phone Booth was one of those.
Right.
That was floating around
for a long time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. The Bodyguard too. Costner's The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. That was supposed to be a Steve McQueen thing, and Diana Ross, I think.
Sure. Well, that probably predates the blacklist.
But I'm just saying it was on development.
It's one of these things. Yeah, development hell is kind of a different issue. But my point being that with this story, that's just to set up the story here. That supposedly, so that's become like an online kind of community thing now, where you have to kind of be allowed in. You have to kind of like vet yourself in. But somebody on there supposedly uploaded an Ironheart script, which is like for Iron Man, which is a new kind of side character for Iron Man. Riri Williams kind of replaced Tony Stark for a while with her own suit. She's a young MIT student. She's a woman of color. She's a genius. I think she's like not like teenage, but she's like, she's young for college kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Graduated early, high school kind of shit, because she's super smart. And she has a bunch of her own adventures and stuff like that. So she's always been kind of like, the fan base has always kind of wanted, is she going to replace Iron Man in the time when eventually like they want to kind of do something else, Marvel Studios movies. Right. So, but here's the issue, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of following this story through because Bob put it in the, notes. I'm just kind of following through. So
Bob's now in the chat, actually.
Nice. So, what I'll say to it for me is just that, like, as cool as that is, I don't think it signals anything just yet, because it's kind of like a weird situation. I feel like if you were hired by Marvel, you wouldn't post this up to the blacklist, because the only reason you're writing it is either A, as a spec script, which means like no one has assigned this to you. You are writing this as a spec script, is either a thing that you hope to get made, or sometimes you'll write a script that, is a script that is just like to show craft and skill and stuff like that. So sometimes you'll, like some guys will get onto a TV show because they write like an example script of another show, that kind of a thing.
You think that maybe this is something that they were throwing on the drawing board in case Robert Downey doesn't want to be Iron Man anymore?
Well, that's the thing. That's probably in play, totally. But whether or not this script is an official, like someone asked her to do this, or it was written on their own, is that question, is what I'm saying. Right. Like, this script doesn't mean anything. Right. Because it just means that this person wrote a script, and it's up on this official place, but that's only because, it's got great buzz in the blacklist. You're right. Like, they kind of, like, it's getting hot as being really well written and good. But it feels like a thing where, like, if you wrote this for Marvel, you wouldn't be able to put it up anywhere yet. Yeah. Anywhere. Unless, even on the blacklist. Right. That would be so locked down. So that's why I feel like very much it's probably like, a spec script, something they wrote on their own. But, like, Bob's saying it's official, but when I I don't know, unless things have changed, you know what I mean?
The only thing I thought that if Robert Downey Jr. did step down, I thought Don Cheadle would just take over as Rhodey, as they did in the books for many, many, many years, when Tony Stark's storyline was that he was a drunk. Right. And he just didn't want to do it anymore until not the Iron Wars, the Silver Centurion Iron Man came in. at issue 200, and there's my comic book nerdism coming at me.
Right.
But yeah, that's let's see.
So Bob's in the chat room, and just to give him voice because he is speaking to it, he's kind of saying, no, it's official. You know what I mean? And that, his stance is the MCU wouldn't let a writer post it otherwise. And, just his opinion. You know what I mean? So, all right, fair enough. And, that is kind of like fair enough, too. I mean, like, she might have gotten clearance on it, but I would feel like, if it was official, I think that would be hard. I mean, unless it was under the auspices that nobody from the blacklist would leak it because it's a membership-based thing. And actually, what I did was today I got lost in the blacklist. Actually, I started looking into their whole methodology and stuff like that. But either way, I'll let the kids debate it out in the chat room.
Yeah,
or
man.
maybe if someone finds
give us some thoughts.
Tell me what you're thinking, Lincoln. Hey, how about that? How about that? You know what we'll do? It's a developing story, more to come.
Parker!
We'll give you updates at 11.
Okay.
And then also what sounded like a good one, this is another one from Bob, and it's saw this during the week, and Ryan Reynolds has signed on to
I read this,
a kind of stoner remake of Home Alone, which is called Stoned Alone, which sounds like a blast, just from the setup, kind of. It's a story centers around a 20-something weed-growing loser who misses the plane for his holiday ski trip. He makes the best of things by getting high. Paranoia sets in, and he believes he hears someone break into his house. Thieves actually have broken in, and the stoner tries to thwart them and defend his castle. So he signed on, I guess, to star in this thing, and is attached to produce and potentially play a role, is how the article is crediting it. So it's great.
Good.
And maybe
that sounds fun.
Yeah. It sounds like the kind of thing where pot-laced shenanigans.
I think he's the perfect guy for that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get
Stoned
Macaulay
alone.
Culkin in there somehow.
I just feel like
Give him a bone. Throw
if
him
you
a
don't
bone.
have Macaulay Culkin pop up in this,
As Kevin?
as a guy named Kevin, you know what I mean, who delivers the pizza this time or something, you know what I mean? And that would be great. It would just be great if everybody was fucking stoned. I'm just picturing the guy like running around the house and in between setting up every trap or situation, just kind of like stumbling upon his pipe and stash again and being like, oh, and like has to stop and like toke up, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the bit. It's the, you know what I mean? Like during the montage of him trying to do stuff, like constantly getting like, oh fuck, what was I doing? Shit, constantly getting all kind of lost in it. But yeah, so that's okay. Thanks, Jay's done. All right. All right. All systems go, buddy.
I'm not drunk.
No, not at all.
Anywho,
I just meant that you tapped out. You tapped out on me after for a little while.
No. I'm actually reading some of the
Well, that's what you're reading.
things. Yeah, I was trying to,
trying to get the kids in the room of fucking voice.
And what Wes Weezar is saying, maybe you should get Daniel Stern in there too.
Just have it be a whole thing.
Yeah.
At the very least, something in the credits. You know what I mean? Where like we're all in the supermarket and you just keep running into these
Or
people.
the sticky bandits.
You know,
The wet bandits.
the wet bandits.
Yeah, and Bob is saying Culkin is a druggie these days. It would be fun to see him deliver a pizza, though.
Absolutely.
And Pesci, I know Pesci wouldn't do it.
Nah, Pesci would never do
He
it.
barely got in on The Irishman, and that's all his boys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Scorsese
I think
and-
he's like the kind of I'm done with it kind of guy.
Yeah, I
because
think
you don't
he's-
see him do anything.
No, he's done.
You know what I mean?
He's had enough.
No. He's gonna pop up with a podcast soon. Though.
Fuck all you motherfuckers.
You fucking motherfuckers.
I'll be on that podcast.
Keep him here. Keep him here.
Keep that motherfucker here.
I know it's just an interview, but keep him here. I'll be right back. Keep him here, Hendry.
So are we ready for this big news?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I mean, everybody already knows, but let's hit it.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Well, this dropped yesterday, I think, or last night.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It's fresh.
I
It is
see.
kind of fresh and minty. The officialness of it all.
So this is what a lot of people were waiting for, the official cast announcement for Star Wars Episode 9.
Wars Episode X.
Ix. Number 9. And this is the one that everybody always said they wanted to see because this would be the closer of the saga of Skywalker.
This is the one. This has got to be the one, right? I mean,
This is it.
This is it. After this, we got nothing.
So we all know.
Never again. There'll be no more Star Wars ever after this,
Right.
Jay.
Well, no, there's going to be.
Plenty.
But I'm talking about the Skywalker.
No, I know. I know
the
what you
thing.
meant. That's why
Yeah.
I said what I said.
It's like,
I was just riffing, Jay.
Let me drink.
Oh, yeah.
Drink.
Moisten up. Moisten up.
So we know J.J. Abrams is back in the director's seat.
He's back in the saddle again.
And he's also writing with Chris Terrio.
Is that Don Terrio's?
That's Danny Terrio's
Danny
nephew.
Terrio's nephew?
Yeah.
I make this joke every time.
Dance Fever.
He's got writing fever.
Chris Terrio won an Oscar for Argo.
Right.
He's also had a hand in Batman v Superman.
Yeah. He's the go-to guy lately.
So he wrote this with Abrams. And everybody's back.
Everybody's
back. Finn, Ray, Poe, Chewbacca.
Right.
What's the hell was his name?
C-3PO.
C-3PO. But the new cast members.
Yeah.
Kerry Russell is official.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant, who's a British actor who's been in every goddamn.
Okay. He's one of those guys you're going to recognize when you see him.
Oh, absolutely.
I got you. Sure.
I'm sure there's some show that he's known for now, but I've known him to be
Right. Let me look him up. Ulysses S. Grant?
no, Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant.
And a newcomer named Naomi Aki.
Okay. I think I've seen a picture of her.
She's the new blood.
Oh, this is like the British James Woods, this guy.
Yeah.
He's got a little James Woodsy kind of
Yeah.
look to him.
And he's been in like 103 movies
Right.
last year. You know what I mean? He's
known for Gosford Park.
Right. Gosford Park. No, I remember him.
Gosford Park, Hudson Hawk are listed in the top of his bio. I'm sure he's in a million greater other things.
Oh, of course.
But
yeah.
like IMDb just killed him
There was-
basically in this lookup.
There's a film called The Player. Robert Altman's The Player.
Okay,
He
sure. That's
played
classic.
Like a writer,
Yeah.
director of that. He
Hey,
was
and look at this.
amazing.
He's going to be in Star Wars Episode X. That's on here too.
on the top.
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill
He's in
confirmed.
Hitman's Bodyguard. He probably plays the bad guy or something.
No, he's in the beginning, and he's got like a thankless role.
Oh, that's a sad thing. He's in Logan. He's Dr. Rice.
That's right. That's
Okay,
That's
there
what
you
I was
go.
trying to think of recently.
Sure.
Mark Hamill confirmed.
Mark Hamill.
Confirmed. Billy D. Williams also confirmed. But that was kind of confirmed.
We knew that.
before.
We knew that.
But so is Carrie Fisher.
yeah. Surprise, surprise.
So the role of Leia Organa will once again be played by Carrie Fisher using previously unreleased footage shot for Star Wars The Force Awakens. And if anybody's seen the trailer for Force Awakens, there's a lot of stuff that didn't make that cut.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and who's to say that in that edit, you know what I mean? Like, they were just like, you know what? We can pull out this scene and put it
rework
into and rework it into 9.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So very much as opposed to them finding some scraps.
Right.
I think it was probably something in there that they looked at it and were like, you know what? We can recontextualize this.
So
And so it's not so much like some bullshit
this is-
thing. I think it's something of some substance that they're able to re-edit.
Yeah, this is a quote from Abrams.
Okay.
Stating, "We desperately loved Carrie Fisher, finding a truly satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga without her eluded us. We were never going to recast or use a CG character. With the support and blessing from her daughter, Billie Lourd, she's also coming back. We have found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and her legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 7.
There you go.
The whole crew is back too. John Williams is back.
John Williams.
I am highly anticipating this, and it begins shooting next month.
Next month.
Let's see if I can try to get in there. Let's see if I can try to get cast on that.
I think you'd make it great. Like, you'd be great, like a sassy Wookiee.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Or I could be a stormtrooper. I'd be fine with
No, yeah, you'd be fine with that.
that. So
Well,
that
you're
is
the only
awesome.
one who needs to know. I could say you could just say that tomorrow. I was a Wookiee in Part 6.
Yeah, but if somebody who's completely full of shit, that's something that they would say. Oh, I was a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
In fucking Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, let me see your fucking pay stubs. You should carry that pay stub around, buddy, in case someone calls you on it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's getting frayed here.
I
But
was
look,
paid in rubles.
Lucas bucks.
Lucas bucks. And speaking of George Lucas, a rumor is circling around that he is a script consultant.
Hot rumor.
To help mesh episode 9 bleed in with the original saga.
Aha.
So I
Or
mean,
kind of come in and be like, here's what I was going to do. I was going to do it like
no,
this.
he was called in. Apparently, this
Well,
is a
that's what I'm
rumor. So,
Okay.
and Abrams is a big fan. I know they're friends. I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing because immediately there's going to be backlash from the fans saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, the prequels." You know, if you look back at the there's a story structure there.
There's stuff in there. You know what I mean?
There's a story
There's-
structure
yeah.
there, and if he's just overlooking and saying, "Curb this and that," I don't think he's writing dialogue. I think
Yeah.
he's just getting the feeling back.
Right.
So I'm all
Yeah.
for it if that's true.
There you go. Yeah, I'm fine with it because I know those guys will like, take whatever he's bringing to the table and filter it into something,
Right.
Very fucking grouply considered, and it's not like we're gonna have to worry about him all of a sudden injecting, I don't know, hot buckets of shit the way people behave about it. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's just gonna contaminate the whole thing, and it's just
Right.
like, relax, people.
Right.
Just wait till it comes out with the judgments, with the harsh judgments.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's a very good dialogue writer. I
Right.
think he's a very good storyboard writer.
Yeah. I think, you know what, on the macro level, he's good. Like, you know what I mean? It's probably on the micro level, when you get into like small stuff, it's like he's a little, maybe that's where he gets lost in it. You know what I mean?
That's where the fans get lost too. I think they all know
Well, here's
that
the thing.
he's great.
Well,
You know
here's
what
the
I mean?
thing. Star Wars is this thing that in the beginning is kind of broad strokes.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what fans do. Like over time, we kind of just rewatch it and think about it. And that's just the natural state.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But nowadays, like, the group of us that just take everything way too far, like they've got a voice too. And it's like, they just make noise. So it's just like, just ignore those clowns, like, and just be like, okay, let's just see everything on its own merit.
Yeah.
Give everything a chance.
Like, I think if the prequels had Kasdan as a dialogue writer on it,
Sure.
I think they wouldn't be as. I don't think they would have been as shunned as they are now.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? I think they would have held up. But there is a story there, and I think that everyone knows he's great. It's just that they kind of just, all right, well, look what you did. All right, fine.
Yeah.
I understand Jar Jar Binks. I don't think he's writing dialogue for this.
Right.
I think he's looking at the fates of the characters and what they would be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to touch the original trilogy, because
There you go.
nobody was complaining about Lucas during that original trilogy, right? Not at all,
Not at all.
Chief. So there's that.
So there's that.
Big news.
Big news, kids. More Star Wars on the way.
Fuck you, fucking haters.
Fuck the fucking haters. So, what are you drinking over there?
A little Red Label.
Red Label.
I drank half the bottle last week.
So this week you figure the
I'm
other
gonna
half.
do the other half
Fair
tonight.
enough. That makes
Absolutely.
that stands to reason. That's
Yeah,
not
it is.
It's not bad. It's
I
not bad.
had a rough week.
All right.
You know what I mean? I worked on a couple things.
You know what? Speaking of drinking, let's listen to our boys who would fucking slap real quick.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey everybody, this is John Saluga.
And this is Chris Sorrentino.
And together we host a weekly podcast called
Super Live Adventure.
It comes out every single Monday. Where can people find it?
You can hear us on iTunes, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio. Basically anywhere you can hear a podcast, you'll find us.
Always a good time. Tell a bunch of funny stories. We're just a couple of dirty
dads. We like to have some drinks on this podcast. In fact, we ring a bell every time we open a new drink. So you can drink along with us at home.
Plus, we have a lot of amazing guests that stop by the show. It's always a good time. Hope you check it out. Go to superliveadventure.com for more information.
Fit it where you should it.
Gets me every fucking time. I always forget it's on there on the end.
I want to go on there.
You want to find out more about the fit it where you shit it?
Yeah, I'm gonna. If they're listening, do they listen?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. I mean, like I've caught them. I catch them every now and then. I'm subscribed. They're in my mix. You know what I mean? Yeah. I catch them. You know, I get through it.
I'm gonna go over there and raise some hell.
No, you're gonna raise some hell. You know what? Let's instead of jumping straight to the meanwhile, let's jump into the chat game. I think I'm gonna scroll it. Agent Palmer, our buddy, he says we got it in the dock. So here we go, kids. It's time for a little bit of the old chat room game. Put some fighting music on.
Hold on, let me go to the...
So the setup on this one was making a Jersey movie. I don't have any rights-free Jersey-related music to play for you, so we're going to play some thunderous, cat-like stuff.
You could play Glory Days by Springsteen.
Just imagine this is Glory Days.
Back in high school.
Let me tell you let me take a break now for 15 to 20 minutes in the middle of this song. Tell you a story about my daddy.
Clarence.
All right, so I hope there's a Bruce Springsteen reference now in there. All right, so we got Jersey World, Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, Ed will love that.
Eat, Pray, Jersey. Jayanator 2, Jersey Day.
There you go.
Fear and Loathing in Atlantic City. Which feels like a logical follow-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jersey Shore,
yep.
which is called Jersey Shore. A British Werewolf in Newark. The Wizard of Newark. Jersey with a Chance of Meatball. Should be a big chance. Citizen Linden.
Hey!
Camden Shore.
Okay.
The Bridges of Essex County.
Palmer had to look that up and find out where I live.
I need New Jersey landmarks.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, part 5, 6, 7, 8. Uncle Jay Takes Newark.
Oh, that's every day.
Apocalypse Newark. Full Metal Jersey.
Very good.
I like that. My Jersey sister happens to be back in the habit. All right.
Let's hang with Hoboken.
Nice. Avengers Camden War. Mr. Smith Goes to Wildwood.
Should be Mr. Chickalise Goes to Wildwood.
There you go. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro, New Jersey Man.
Yeah.
Because that's a town. Uncle Jay and the Silent Brother Bob Strike Back in Jersey.
Ah, there it is.
There you go. Big bells for everybody.
Last minute for Wes Weezar. Very good.
Kids.
Thanks,
kids.
Wes.
That was fun. So,
good ones.
that rolls us right into the old meanwhile stuff. Meanwhile. So, I'm just going to give a heads up for people who listen to podcasts. S-Town. If you're tempted, I don't know. I feel like you could skip it. Like, there's some good human stuff in there, but if you're waiting for, like, some kind of, like, story payoff thing, I don't know if you get that. It's an interesting podcast that has an interesting moment where kind of the story, the whole point of what's going on changes. It's a kind of thing where, like, a guy who works for NPR, it's all true. He gets contacted. He works on Serial and some other podcast stuff for them. It's all, magazine kind of reporting and true story stuff that they do over on their shows. So with this, he's gotten contacted like a while back by this guy, like, who reached out, who was a fan of their stuff or whatever, and like he starts this kind of a back and forth with this guy kind of a thing, and because this guy's got stuff he wants to look into. Eventually, he gets to know this guy enough where he's like, all right, let me go down there. He's in Alabama, I believe it was, and check it out, see what it is. I'll go down there for a couple of days. I'll see if this guy's like bullshit or not. And he's just like, I want you guys to look into some local crime. I think this kid got killed, and no one's talking about it down here. I think the local police swept it under the rug, and some other side bullshit. Or is this guy just a kook, and like all he's talking about is bullshit? So he goes down there and he kind of like gets to know the guy, and so it's like this kind of thing that goes for a couple episodes, and then it's like, all right, well the thing kind of turns out to be this big misunderstanding. It's just how small towns spread information and shit like that, and shit gets twisted up, and so that's what that whole fight thing was about. And turns out it didn't quite go down like that. Nobody died,
right?
And then it turns out like this guy though is kind of that brings the reporter dude down there is kind of compelling in a way, and he's interesting and quirky and weird and really intelligent and quasi amazing, kind of not amazing but just very interesting dude, so it's an interesting character study overall. But there's a point, and I don't want to give it away, but there's a point where things shift and it's kind of like, oh, okay. All right. And so then we get into a broader character study of this guy now. And so it's cool. It's interesting. But I'm just giving a heads up. If you're looking for, like, after this initial turn of story, if you're expecting something bigger near the end, some kind of thing, just, it's not coming.
Okay.
Because I feel like it kind of deflated at the end a little bit. Because it's human life. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? That kind of a story type
Gotcha.
of thing. It's like, it's very kind of open because life is open type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? And it's from a couple years ago or a year ago, and it's still up. You know what I mean? And it's only like 8 podcast episodes or some shit. But it kind of like doesn't kind of...
So you're listening to a story.
Yeah, but there was some real interest on it. There was some hype around it a little bit. There was some buzz, so I kind of gave it a swing. And I got pulled into it. I was like, oh, let me see where this goes. And it's just, you know, I listen to it at work, so it's not like I'm, you know, losing any time by dedicating it to this thing. And it was interesting. But in the end, it was kind of like a meh.
I want to do a side note to that.
Mm-hmm.
When I look for gigs, there's a lot of like auditions for voiceover for podcast stories.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually did one for that came out of a NYU.
Okay.
It was a test thing, you know what I mean? It was really like kind of it was a test, you know what I
Okay.
mean? It was like somebody's project.
I got you. So
But it was fun to do, you know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe we can do one where...
we'll do a podcast one day?
No, like maybe I can, you know, just get a job doing...
Doing podcasts?
Podcast
Instead of
stories.
doing them for free over here, get some fucking money out of it. I see what you're saying. Well, you're free to use any episode you want as a demo.
Oh, I have, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The ones where I yell at Ed.
There you go.
They like that.
They like the high drama.
Well, the audience likes that.
Well, I don't know. We've never had anybody email and say, "Hey, more of that," or fair enough, or less of that either. You know what I mean? They seem pretty neutral about it. Like, so I got no idea if they like the bickering or not. But
It's all right. I ain't stopping.
no, that's my other, that's the other thing. Is just get used to it, kids.
Somebody's got to put him in his place a bit.
Well, speaking of A Quiet Place, which this will never be.
Yeah. You know what? This was something I didn't catch in the theater.
Right.
And the thing is, I'm a big horror fan.
Okay.
And, you know, there's a lot of hype around this one.
Yeah.
And it made a shit ton of money, too. You know what I mean? So I kind of, like, reset, you know, the counter a little bit on this.
Yeah, right. The expectations.
And put this on just as a straightforward first watch.
Okay.
And it really is good.
All right.
It is. And the thing is like I like a lot of the innovative storytelling in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not... There's some originality in it.
Well, that's what I kind of figured. I mean, the whole setup on it being about how, you know,
You know what
I
I mean?
figured it's, you know, it's a lot of quiet stuff.
Like, well, that's, I think, the brilliance of it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I presumed would be,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? That is like a lot of the reason to like it. And the fact is like it really is kind of a science fiction story.
Sure.
More so.
Sure. They don't
You know what
really
I mean?
hint at how much of like what's going on in the trailers.
Right.
But
I don't want. I want to give too much
Sure.
away, but I'll give a little bit because I'll just say this: something happens and the apocalypse kind of, you know, mankind is really like deteriorating
Okay.
because there was a meteor that hit and aliens are now on our planet and they're vicious as fuck.
Right, because I
know what
did
I
see
mean?
in the trailer something was like hunting them down.
And
Sure, that's what they're hiding
And they
from.
hunt by sound.
Right.
So, you know, because they're blind,
Right.
basically. And you can't make noise
Mm-hmm.
because within seconds they come out of the fucking woodwork
Right.
and they're just vicious fucks. So this is basically about a family surviving in that atmosphere. And it's John Krasinski who directed this,
Okay.
and Emily Blunt, their real life husband and wife.
Oh, that's
couple.
right. I forgot if they're together.
And and it's basically just them
Right.
in this post-apocalyptic world, and I was sucked in right away.
Sure.
Because as soon as I see that kind of post-apocalypse
yeah.
kind of story, I'm immediately sucked in.
Gets me every time.
This is a really good one, and people. I'm not going to tell you to go believe the hype. I'm saying to watch the film
Right.
and see a really cool sci-fi horror story.
Sure.
Done really cool.
Right. Really original.
Yes.
It's definitely a cash.
It's got a lot of originality in it that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this was really cool.
All right.
Cash.
Cash. Who doesn't like some cash?
Who doesn't like some cash? And I also saw something you saw a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
you
okay.
reviewed here. Netflix has a show called The Staircase.
Right.
And this is I believe it's a French film crew.
Right.
that was documenting the life of. Well, we don't know if he's a murderer or not, but that's the whole thing. About a guy that whose wife was found dead at the floor of
At the bottom of the stairs, yeah.
and his story is that she took a nasty fall and cracked her head, but not open really. It was cracked open, but
the skin is split.
The skin is split, but the skull is not.
Yeah, there's no concussion from impact.
It really kind of rules out somebody bashing her over the head.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's a 13 episode story, and it takes place over a course of 15 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to give this away. If somebody really, I was compelled the moment it started. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to say, oh, Bill was telling me about this. I put one on, and then over the course of 2 days, I watched 10 episodes. So I got 3 more to go.
Oh, shit.
But it really is very cool, and I think it's cool that they actually documented this at the time it was happening. So you're really getting some fly on the wall kind of storytelling here.
That's the thing. It's like
that's what's compelling about it.
You're so embedded in his little legal team and what's going on, like this, the random conversations at his house. That this whole peek behind the curtains, it's so voyeuristic, where it's like all I'm doing the whole time is just eyeing him up, like, is this guy just bullshitting everybody? Is he not? Like, I can't. It's like I can't get a read.
Right. And then all these breaks in the case.
These twists that the case takes are just ridiculous.
From both ends.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, like what? What the fuck? So yeah, it's definitely a really cool character study of a man that you don't know. I still don't know yet. You know what I mean? I didn't watch the end.
Yeah.
So I'll get back to you guys on that.
I finished it or not. I'm not sure.
I got 3 episodes left, but it's definitely compelling storytelling, and I think that Netflix really has some really amazing shows going on. They are a force to be reckoned with, I believe.
Force to be reckoned with.
So, yeah, cash so far on that.
Cashing so far on that. I like it. All right.
Did I pick up any Blu-rays? Maybe.
Maybe. I kind of have a feeling that you did. What do you got? What'd you pick up? Anything?
No, A Quiet Place I picked up.
Oh, okay.
And, I don't know, it was another Steelbook action. Oh, Rampage I picked up. Which I watched again, which is so much fun.
I'm trying to fucking log in here to this thing, and it's really giving me a hard time, but now it's going to throw me off.
So,
fucking son of a bitch.
So I did not get to see Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wanted to see that.
I'm gonna go see it Tuesday, so I'll do a review next week if I'm not working on Star Wars Episode 9.
Well, I mean,
as Jar Jar Binks' uncle.
J.J. Binks?
J.J. Uncle J.
J-A-Y, J-A-Y. But
Uncle Binks.
Uncle
Binks.
Uncle Binks.
How the fuck are you?
What are you fucking doing over there?
Take a look at my new fucking speeder bike I just picked up, huh?
Fuck you, sir.
I got that on Dan Tween.
Well, you gotta talk like him a little bit. Like, you gotta do the Yusa Misa.
Yeah, Misha, Uncle Jay.
Misa, Uncle. Fuck you, sir.
Fuck you, sir. Kiss my ass, sir.
This fucking bullshit.
Bomb bad. So.
Yeah. Let's jump into email, I guess.
Yeah, we're going quick.
Yeah, we're cooking. We're not even at an hour yet.
Well, I would have prepared a little bit more if I knew these guys weren't going to be here.
No, well, me too. But I'm hoping I can get this thing working, and we'll have some stuff to go with for a little more time. But this whole fucking login issue I'm having over here.
You don't look successful.
Yeah, I'm not.
Did you get any voiceover?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to log into that on my phone right now, and I can't remember the fucking password.
It's not James telling me to fuck myself for the night?
No, it's definitely not. So let me see. I guess. What is this? Okay, I'm mixing up I have all my email coming to one thing, so I'm sorry. And now I should have cleaned out the junk mail. There's fucking junk mail on the way. I'm sorry, kids. The whole show just fell apart.
That's all right.
Looks
No,
like
it did
Ben.
not.
Looks like Ben is the first one in here. Okay.
Benny Live.
I'm just trying to go in order. You know what I mean? So he goes. Subject line: Cult classics back on the big screen.
Yes.
Hi, Wicked Theory. What is your favorite cult classic film that you have seen back on the big screen?
Back on the big screen.
Right. And also, what film would you most want to see back on the big screen? I'm asking because this Monday, the 80s film Predator will be screening for one night in my town. So I will have my popcorn ready. That would be cool to see.
With Predator?
Yeah,
I
I
remember
didn't-
seeing that. Yeah, I saw that in the theater when it came out. You know what? It's hard to ask me because I'll watch any revival on the big screen.
Well, that's
You know what I
that's
mean?
fair enough. You know what I mean?
But movies like the original Blade Runner, that's something
Yeah,
you want to see
yeah.
on a big fucking screen. Close Encounters.
Right.
Any of those big, huge summer films of the 70s and 80s that are beloved. So yeah, Predator naturally would be one of them.
Sure.
Alien and Aliens, definitely big time films. The first Alien needs to be seen on a big screen. I can't, anything Ridley Scott has done. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
Scott, Cameron, Spielberg. These are films that are made with such craft that you need to see that on a big fucker.
Yeah. Goonies. Goonies would be good to see.
You know, yeah, I saw that.
Actually, I was watching Goonies the other night. It was
Yeah.
running on one of the like FX or maybe AMC. Was
Josh
running.
Brolin's first
So
film.
once I saw young Josh Brolin wearing his shorts over his jogging pants, I immediately remembered the '80s. Like, oof, good times, the '80s. Lots of good fashion
But
choices.
good for him because he never stopped working since the Goonies. You know what I
No,
mean?
it ends up being like this thing that's like the one thing people point out from his early career. But he's got tons of fucking work all throughout. Yeah,
Like thrashing.
thrashing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
Come
really-
on. You ever see that dude on a skateboard? I mean, that guy can ollie.
Yeah, well, I like to see thrashing back on the big screen.
Yeah, I want to see a remake of that. Then all of a sudden, whoever was the star of that, like who was the star of
Josh
that?
Brolin.
Oh, he was the lead?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just like one of the guys in it. I didn't
No,
realize he was the lead.
that's because
Oh, okay.
because the Goonies was such a success and he
He parlayed that
riding
into
off of that,
okay,
yeah.
sure. He was skating off it. Skating off the success.
And then Christian Slater made one a year later, Gleaming the Cube.
Well, that's the one I think everybody kind of remembers.
Well, it was a little bit more of a hit. I think.
Yeah, a little more of a, I don't know.
Cult classic.
Yeah,
There was also
yeah.
Rad,
Well, that's,
which was the BMX film.
Oh,
Remember
my
that?
God, right. You know what I want to see? Solar Babies.
Mel Brooks produced that, actually. Of all
man.
peeps. But, yeah, man. I mean, anything from that time. I mean, 2001.
Ooh, there you go. 2001.
That's a film that should be seen on a big on a
Yeah,
big
that's that
screen.
kind of a thing. Yeah, something that's big and expansive like that.
I generally would
You
like
know,
to
even
think,
the re-release of the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anytime
what?
that ever gets resurrected, you got to go to see that. And even someone like the bigger epic, like Lawrence of Arabia. I know that's Wes Weezar's favorite film ever.
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean? But I like the movie. I'm not in love with it, but I understand the cinematic craft of it and everything. And I had never seen that on a big screen, and I would like to.
Right.
That's something that I think that would be just a pleasure to see.
Yeah, I'm about to give up on this fucking login thing, man.
You give up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. All right, so I'll get into it. Dan sent a couple of voicemails, and I got to figure out what the password is. And I have it logged in on my other computer. It's kind of auto-filled now.
Who's Dan?
Dan from the Dissecting Dads, the Disagreeing Dads, the Dynamic Dads, Disrespecting Dads. What is it? Divorced Dads United? Deconstructing Dad podcast. That's it.
Benny said, hell yes, I'd love to see Blade Runner back in the big screen.
Sure.
Well, you had your chance because it did play for one
It
night
did.
last October.
Well, he's, I think, half a world away.
Yeah, but AMC did that all over.
Wherever they are.
All over the States.
Sure.
It was the night before Blade Runner 2049 opened.
Yeah, but I really believe he's like in Saskatchewan or some shit.
But I'm sure the AMC in Saskatchewan is playing it. Because they...
Is Saskatchewan in America?
Yeah.
It's in America?
Where are you from, Benny? So we can nip this in the fucking
I feel like
ass.
New Zealand. I feel like New Zealand is where Benny's from.
He's a Kiwi?
I think so. Okay, bye.
Zoe Bell. I like Zoe Bell.
Hey, if we're talking Kiwis, we're talking delicious fruits. I don't know what that means. Okay, so our next one here is from Steph Muniz.
A baby doll, eh?
A little bit of the old Steph mail.
What's going on, baby doll?
She says, "Hey, yous guys, I took a trip to Winslow, Arizona. There's a flatbed Ford. I stood on the corner. Winslow, Arizona.
Oh, the Eagles too.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. My question for you, gentlemen: have you ever driven to a tourist spot referenced in a song? And if so, where was it? I feel like if you hit New Jersey, you're in every Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You just walk from a song, huh?
Yeah.
Well, New York by Sinatra.
We're covered. I mean, I haven't been on the Hudson River line, you know what I mean, to quote Billy Joel, you know what I mean? But I'm in a New York state of mind all the time, you know what I mean? I like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood.
I think I was on a Greyhound on the Hudson River line once.
Yeah? Were you?
I think so, yeah.
Fucking half intoxicated?
Probably.
I mean, possible. I might have been going to a bachelor party. I mean, that might have been a thing. Just saying.
You know what? Not that. I mean, I've been to Woodstock, and that's really like.
Well, that's a tourist spot.
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of that came out of a song.
It's not
probably.
far from here.
I mean, it created. The place created its musical references, and it's tied into it, like, you know. I had grown up listening to a lot of that classic rock, and I also grew up fucking hippie.
I also grew up knowing that Woodstock. Well, my parents were hippies.
No, sure.
But what I'm saying is that I always grew up as knowing that this big fucking thing called Woodstock happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it really wasn't until like maybe 10 years ago where I actually drove up there just to take a look at that.
Right.
And when you sit there and you take a look at that vast farmland, and you can just imagine like what the fuck transpired there. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus
then
Christ.
you watch that movie.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, man. It's pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So
I remember like watching the constant coverage of the one in the 90s.
Oh,
I mean, that was a bullshit thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, pales in comparison as far as like cultural importance. Don't
the
get me wrong.
99 one?
Yeah. I'm not holding it to it. I'm just saying, like, I remember, like, because the thing about the old one is that, like, there's only so much footage, and it's kind of like locked into some documentaries and shit.
Well, they shot.
Well, that's what I mean. Everybody shot like a
3
million
days,
things.
yeah.
I feel like I've kind of seen it all. But what was funny was just that, like, because of like. The grime and the nastiness because of how much rain they had in the 90s, it just cemented home how like happy I was that I didn't go.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah, I almost went.
You know, like,
Which one? The 94 or the 99?
Well, the Woodstock 2. Like the one that was
The
the first
94.
time, I guess so. Whichever one happened first, like the first time in however many
The
years.
25th anniversary.
Yeah, I guess that's
I remember
what it was.
that. I was gonna go.
Yeah, that was the one that was like fucking crazy. You know, but yeah, I don't know. Did I ever go anywhere?
Because the one in 99 got out of hand.
Yeah, well, you know, it was the end of the world, so, you know, you got to party like it's 1999, and it is 1999. Forget it.
That's the one where, Rage Against the Machine burned the flag on the stage, and that was 99.
Yeah. Well, when you're killing in the name of. You just got to do what you got to do.
But they didn't do it again. They did it 3 times, and that was it.
They're always doing something. That's their bit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's their whole cause. It's like, or the one dude climbs to the top of the fucking stage scaffolding and breaks his leg jumping down.
But,
that was on an award show.
But if you guys want to, if you haven't seen that documentary Woodstock,
right?
It's a 3-hour ride, but there's some amazing musical performances in it that carry
sure.
that, and a lot of the interviews and stuff with just random hippies using the fucking porta-sands and shit, and people just smoking fucking dope on fucking. It's really something to see, and it's quite a special thing. And Marty Scorsese was an editor on that too.
Well, someone's got to work the fucking editing machine. Guys, I'm fucking in here all fucking day, okay? I don't fucking need this.
But yeah, it gives you.
I can smell these people through the fucking film.
Well, it's definitely a huge document into the craziness.
Sure.
And it was also wet and rainy.
Don't eat the brown acid.
Don't eat the brown acid.
So, thanks, Stephanie. She says she signs off with the old, what did she sign off with here? Your pal, Steph. All right, and then...
baby doll.
Yeah, baby doll. A little something from young Wesley Gaskins.
Wesley.
Wesley Gaskins.
Wesley.
He says, hey, you gentlemen. If there was a Star Wars Mount Rushmore, which 4 characters would be on it? If I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good question.
Thank you.
I would think that off the bat, Luke and Vader
Sure.
immediately.
Sure.
The other 2 would be...
I think Luke is the first, and then Vader's like second hit.
And then I'd say that it either would be...
Boba Fett, and then an Ewok, right?
But that's fan-based.
I know. If we're doing a real deal like Disney's doing it, yeah. It's Luke, Vader,
It would,
Yoda.
I would probably Yoda.
Mm-hmm. And
maybe Obi-Wan.
And Obi-Wan.
Or
I think
Han,
so.
Give or take.
Give or take. I think that's a tough call.
Maybe even Princess Leia.
4 heads, you know what I mean? It's like,
Actually, Princess Leia might even be.
Maybe it's those 3, and then that 4th spot is the one. It's Dad, the 2 kids, and then
and
Yoda. I guess. I mean,
I don't think anybody would complain about it.
If you're looking at like the founding fathers of the Star Wars saga as character, like, you know what I mean? If you're transposing the importance and the founding fathers' natureness of it, I think that's the right thing.
I think
those 4.
I think that
Luke, Leia, Vader, and Yoda.
I think Vader and Yoda are the 2 most visceral visions of Star Wars that people have.
Sure.
Maybe that's the Stormtrooper too.
Yeah. I mean, Darth Vader would make a great like Statue of Liberty. I mean, we could do that. I feel like that would work. He's got the cape. He could hold the lightsaber up instead. Right. He'd be green patina within a week.
I don't know. That's something you should ask the chat room and maybe go over it in the after show.
Oh, how about that?
So Uncle Jay's going to open up the chat room. Guys.
Place your bets. Place your arguments.
Who do you think would be the 4
Who do you love?
heads for Mount Rushmore of Star Wars?
Oh, maybe we'll do
Think about it.
Maybe we'll do a Mount Rushmore of this, Mount Rushmore of that.
Could be me, you, Bob, and Ed.
Well, let's not do the Mount Rushmore of the Wicked Theory podcast. There's only like 5 or 6 fucking possibilities, to be honest, and only 4 lately.
And a half.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Now, Leia, Luke, Vader, and
I'm never gonna get this password.
Yoda might be the.
It's fucking bullshit. I really wanted to play those. We'll do it next week.
All right.
I mean, there's nothing I can do, and I don't recall the password. And rather than wasting more time with it and doing the whole email thing off my phone and sending,
that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I guess the last thing I could try is just actually, just go fuck myself. I guess that's the last thing I could do. But here's the problem, Jay.
What's the matter?
Without 2 people to help us do the show, we're at an hour and 5.
That ain't bad, actually, considering.
Well, I think what it shows is that, like, a theory that I've had for a long time, that, like, when somebody's not here, it equals out to about 15 minutes, right? So if these 2 aren't here, we're under by, like, a half an hour of the rough, loose time that we would look to close.
Well, here's the thing. If I had known they weren't going to be here, I would have prepared a lot more.
Well, I'm just saying, I think there's a human value of about 15 minutes. Is what I'm saying. There's a weird. I just want to talk about this weird pattern that I've noticed.
Well,
like, you know what I mean?
I gotta say
it's a
something.
weird thing.
I gotta say something. When somebody's not here and I'm here, it still goes the distance.
Well, I mean, I could just yeah.
Because I have a lot of filler.
Well, sure.
I got a lot of shit to say.
Yeah.
I mean?
But
sometimes it doesn't pertain to pop culture. It just pertains about the shit day I had on the Coast Bronx Expressway.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And Josh Brolin's been in a lot of fucking movies the last 5 years. You see
And by
his
the way,
shit?
Josh Brolin, you pulling up the IMDb?
I'm looking at his shit here.
All right, hit me with a couple.
A couple. What year you want?
What was he doing in 95?
All right. Now you're going to the time where he was like,
Off the grid?
he was working for...
Direct the videos?
No, not the video.
He's working for fucking the tourist agency? Was doing some side work?
He did an Outer Limits episode and Bed of Roses.
Nice. What, the Bon Jovi video?
Bed of Roses was, I think that was a Christian Slater.
Jesus Christ.
Although, you know what? Now you got some pop culture references here. Christian Slater from Gleam in the Cube and Josh Brolin from Thrashing did do a fucking movie together. So we're
Okay.
that's something that needs to be known.
Oh, I bet you they talked up skateboarding a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
They touched ground with that, I bet.
See, that's what I would ask Josh Brolin. When you did Bed of Roses with
you-
Christian Slater, did you guys talk about which was the better skateboard film?
Did you guys compare notes about how miserable you were that you had to actually learn that shit? And how uncomfortable those knee pads hidden under your jeans were?
I gotta say.
Yeah, well, a job's a job.
Although I hear Christian Slater's really awesome on Mr.
Have you
Robot.
seen me on Mr. Robot? I'm fucking amazing over there.
Well, he's winning fucking awards for it, so he might as well be, right?
I'm inside your fucking head.
I liked Heathers with Christian Slater.
I'm riding this skateboard and you're really mean to my girlfriend.
Hey,
I'm gonna kick flip it through your window.
I gotta say this, man, for Christian Slater. At least like True Romance and Heathers are really
Christian
good,
Slater.
good fucking flicks.
All right.
And I don't know, he seemed to picked up on.
Hey, he did True Romance. That's it. I'm done.
You didn't like Heathers?
Okay, that's it. 2 movies.
You didn't like
I found my Christian limit.
You didn't like
I found my Slater cutoff.
Christian.
My Christian Slater limit. It's like 2 movies. But then after a while, everything feels like he's doing Jack.
Actually, well, he is doing Jack.
Basically.
That's exactly in Heathers. That is.
Well, Heathers, he admits to it. Like, he's totally doing Jack.
Yeah.
Hands, everything.
But I think
I feel like once he did
it worked for that.
I feel like once he keyed in on it, though, as like a mannerisms thing, it took him a while to break out of it. I feel like in a couple of movies, it's there for a little bit too long. And in fact, he's got a cadence that's similar to it, and kind of like he always had it, like from day one when he shows up in movies, even as a young fella. Like he's still, that's his natural cadence. But once he started kind of taking from Jack a little bit,
Right.
it was hard for him to shake, it seemed.
See, I think it works in Heathers because it works for that character.
Oh, sure. And there's a bit of it in fucking True Romance. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guy, I mean, they're definitely different types. Don't get me wrong. But I think some people could lump Christian Slater into being a little bit one note.
Yeah. Well, I would think that's probably why he kind of ran out of fumes
for a little while. You know what I mean? People were very like, oh, you know exactly what you kind of get with Christian Slater.
Well,
Christian Slater.
But the thing is, there's like movies like Murder in the First. Ever see that?
What's that?
Murder in the First. It was him and Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon went to
It's not a
prison.
John Bolton song. Murder in the First Degree.
That's Michael Bolton.
Oh, it's Michael Bolton.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. All I can do is Michael Bolton. I forgot. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing now. What has this show become? Are you not entertained?
No, but it's good pop culture.
It's pop culture nonsense. It's what we do best. But we're just kind of fucking rounding it.
Yeah.
This is pre-show. This is pre-after show.
Yeah, well, because people pussied out on us this week.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't. I would.
Well, I don't think that's pussying out. A guy called. Well, first of all, one of them fucking got the fucking bad spin of the wheel. He's got no. Well, I'm talking about Bobby. He's just he's got a double shift. He got fucked into it, like basically.
I know.
Because it gets pushed on you.
Okay.
It's all about whose turn it is, kind of a thing.
That's all right.
But and Ed really did not sound good, and I didn't want to belabor the point, but really didn't sound too good. You know what I mean?
The crud.
He had something going on, and he was like, he was coming out of a movie. He was
Of course he was. Oh,
yeah, he was coming out of a movie, and he's like, can't. I gotta go home. I don't,
Maybe he didn't like the movie.
that's what I said to him. I was like, well, first things first. Are you doing a bit? Because this is like going to be a thing where it's like the movie was so bad, like you can't handle it, or he's like, no, like no, I'm really like he kind of like really kind of was like, no, I'm really not feeling right. Like something's up. I'm like, all right, well, go home, fucking figure it out. Lay down if you gotta lay down. Let people know you're taking a nap. Let them know you're not feeling well, just in case you don't wake up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so I was like, all right, buddy, do what you gotta do.
So it happens when you don't like dogs.
You know what I mean? It's a bad dog karma.
Yeah. See? Talking shit. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Wes Weezer and Broken Arrow. Those are films you liked, Wes? Because I feel that the reason to watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is Alan Rickman.
Oh.
Christian
I
Slater.
didn't know. No, I didn't know there was any reason to watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
No, I like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's just,
Fucking, you would.
yeah, I like medieval films like that. You know what I mean?
All right, it's the least
like-
consistent medieval film I've
Of
ever
course.
seen.
Well,
And I'm not saying that because everybody says it. I'm saying that because, like, what's fucked up? As I saw some of that recently, and I was like, this can't be as bad as everybody says it is. And it's like, okay, it's not as bad as everybody says it is, but it's a little hard of a watch for me. Just something about him just doesn't feel right. Like he feels too present day.
yes.
He feels too present day. And you're right, Rickman's got some good shit in it, but like. I don't know that he saves the movie, but he definitely does good shit in it. I'll give it to him. You know what I mean? But maybe that's for me watching it from today. But like I did watch it back in the days, and I was like,
you like the Russell Crowe one?
no. To be honest with you, I have yet to see a Robin Hood movie I've ever really liked that I thought was any good. To be honest with you, like there's even another one coming, and I'm like, just fucking stop already.
Well, that looks like how I felt about that. The
King Arthur one.
The King Arthur one.
Yeah, it's a very modernized kind of
Which
version.
I don't like.
Which is like you're making it look too modern, even though it's like same era.
The Ridley Scott one I liked. I think that's one of the better ones for me.
Right. Right.
Well, that and the Errol Flynn one, of course. You know what I mean? That's dated. You know?
If I was born back then, I'd be like, fuck Errol Flynn. I don't like him either. I don't like the look of his leggings.
That's because he's a good-looking son of a bitch.
Little fancy boy.
Interview with a Vampire was good. Yeah, that was good.
Interview with a Vampire. Tonight at 11.
Wes is running down a couple of...
Wes is throwing some randoms at us.
Well, Christian Slater randoms.
Christian Slater randoms. He was kind of random in that movie.
Well, he was River Phoenix. He stood. He
He got in there, filled in for him after he passed away.
River Phoenix died right at pre-production.
Yeah, but it's a bookending kind of, and a little bit in the middle kind of character, but it's good. I mean, he's got to find out what's going on.
The interviewer is a big.
Well, he's the instigator of the whole thing.
Yeah.
The story being revealed to us. I mean,
Right.
But I'm saying for a lot of it, it's kind of like a framing mechanic. Like, I don't know how much in the book is really like if you come in and out of that more. Like, you know what I mean?
I thought he was one of the. Well, that's the whole thing.
Well, it is the frame of the whole thing, but I feel
guy.
like you get so lost into the history of it all.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, there is a point where you almost forget. So when you come out of the history for a second and you get back to the room where they're talking, it's like, oh shit, I kind of forgot. Like, I kind of got lost in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like, it just felt like its own thing.
He doesn't hurt the movie.
No, absolutely not. No, he's good in it. I wish he had a little bit more, is what I'm saying. Like, finally there's some heat at the end with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where it gets good with him in a way. You know what I mean? There's payoff for all that. You know what I mean? I wish it was, just a little bit. I don't know. It was one of those things in there. I was like, okay,
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I at the time I remember every goth head went.
Oh well, that's that's where fucking our buddy Cassidy comes from in Preacher. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the antithesis. He's supposed to be like the anti-point to all of that shit. Like,
See, because I think that like Bram Stoker's Dracula, like I feel like because I used to hang at this goth club years ago.
Sure.
And
Picture that, kids.
Bram
teenage
Stoker's
goth Uncle Jay.
I wasn't a goth guy. I
No,
just
no,
went
no.
there because I knew people.
No, a little bit of guy liner, just a little.
Never.
But no, I'm just saying, imagine it anyway.
The same jeans, the T-shirt, and everything. But I was a metalhead, and metalhead guys went in there too.
Oh yeah.
And
those little goth chicks are hot.
And not only that, they played a lot of hardcore in those goth places too.
The music's pretty good usually, man.
You know what I mean?
It's not about the scene as much as it's about the music.
Skinny Puppy, Bauhaus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prodigy at the time. This is the late '90s.
Who doesn't like Smack Your Bitch Up? I mean, come on.
It's a good track, though.
It is. It's a fucking powerful track.
I remember them like abiding by Bram Stoker's Dracula, Interview with a Vampire, The Crow,
right.
All these dark, morbid.
Like if you wanted to get laid in that place, all you could just go sit at the bar with the
recite Dark City.
Dark City. Just go in there with a copy of like any one of those books and just sit at the bar and try to like act like you're too cool for the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they'll just flock to you.
And surprisingly Blade Runner too, because that's kind of a dark.
Oh sure, it's noir. It's dark noir. It's right there on the cusp of goth kind of culture-y kind of thing.
But I feel like with Bram Stoker's Dracula, I felt like Coppola was giving a little bit more style.
Oh yeah. There's
innovative style.
There's definitely like this kind of design work that's going into that where like I don't know who they had behind that, but like the design stuff.
Oh, it's incredible.
That was the thing I was captivated most by because they've tried to do a big push for that, and I don't know how much of it worked. We won't get into that, but I remember at that time in the '90s, I was steeped in comics and collectible cards and all those kinds of shit. So
right.
The promotion for that was everywhere, and I just remember seeing that red suit that's kind of supposed to give you the impression. That red armor that's supposed to kind of give you the impression of the texture of the musculature thing. And so I got really captivated by a lot of this design work. So I don't know if it was like, Mike Mignola or
no,
one of
it
these
was
kind of guys.
A Japanese
but it was somebody outside the box as fuck. You know what I mean?
I forget. She's the same woman that did remember The Cell?
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure.
Remember those body casts?
Yes, now it all makes sense. Yes. Okay.
Iako or something like that. But she was a huge, big costume designer.
Sure. Okay.
The thing is with Bram Stoker's Dracula is that I feel it's literally a skeleton of the book.
Okay.
That's filled with Coppola's innovative
approaches to the
for what it is. I like it like I like Burton's Batman.
Okay,
it's a Dracula film,
right?
Not
exactly.
The Dracula.
It's a chapter in the myth, in another person's take, kind of thing.
It's Francis Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah, that's the kind of way you have to approach it. It's like it's gonna have his certain directors. It's all about they put their fingerprints all over a project, whereas other directors are sometimes are much more hidden from the mix in a way. You know what I mean? Like Coppola's kind of a guy like that. Tim Burton's a guy like that. You know what I mean?
But Coppola really went into overdrive.
Yeah, that's one of his most kind of lavishly kind of visual heavy kind of setups. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wes Weezer chiming in saying Rick Baker did the makeup for Dracula and won the Oscar. He did win. It won the costumes.
Okay.
It won the makeup, and I think he got a sound award, and deservingly so because I feel that's a really good Dracula movie. Oldman's great in it.
Okay.
The only person that's awful in it is Keanu Reeves because somebody put Ted in this Bram Stoker movie. Whoa, I'm going to Vukovina.
Right. That's funny.
And Hopkins is amazing as fucking Van Helsing. So that's my Bram Stoker.
That's your Dracula. All right,
but that's good banter. We got time.
Yeah, we got time. That was banter. It was banter time on the banter time on the Wicked Theory podcast.
Yeah, Iako, her name was, and The Cell had the same kind of design work. When you're because The Cell blew my fucking mind too when I saw that.
Yeah, The Cell's one of those ones that I think people kind of say, oh, it's a little thin on story. It's a little well, you know what it is? It's so over lavish in a way where it's big visuals. It's a lot of kind of stuff like that. That at the time I don't think it was because it was going so hard for the dreamy the aesthetic that it was doing. People weren't used to in a way. And I think a lot of people wrote it off as it's just trying so hard to be arty or something.
I think it's so much more than that.
And I think it is too. Yeah. And I think it's underrated in a way where it's I think people kind of get wrapped up in this kind of thing where it's
It was a detective
we're trying,
story,
right? And it's
in the subconscious.
Yeah, and we're going into people's minds, and we're just kind of like, like this is the aesthetic we're going for. This is the design sense. This is the kind of like mood. This is the kind of thing. And I think it's a thing where either like you dig it or you don't. And I think that kind of like, but it's like if you don't dig it, it's like a thing where like it just like it turns people off to it. Because it was like a weird movie that I thought like a lot of people were like kind of like mixed on. It seemed like the audiences were mixed on, if I remember correctly, at the time.
I remember them thinking that, like they felt like the detective story of them following,
right?
And then all of a sudden you're sucked into this crazy ass subconscious world with all these intense
imageries
visuals
and surrealness going on.
Roger Ebert, I think, was the big booster on that. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, this is something a little more innovative than your regular detective story. I think the story is there.
Yeah. No, it is. It totally is. I think it gets dismissed because it's Jennifer Lopez's first movie, right? Like,
no. She's already done it.
Well, she's done like not Get Shorty.
Out of Sight.
Out of Sight, rather. I think she's
the Selena biopic she did. The Oliver Stone movie she did with Sean Penn. Mm-hmm. So this was like her fifth, sixth, maybe even.
No, no, I get that. I'm just saying I don't think people gave her a real shot on a lot of things. I think she was one of those actresses that, like, for some reason, there was a certain amount of people who were like, seemed like she had to keep proving herself in a way. Like, people were like surprised, like she was able to do it. And it's like people forget, like, you know, did Selena, where, like, you know, she was hardly known.
It was a breakthrough, though.
You know what I mean?
She was good in it.
She was huge in it, but people forget that. You know what I mean?
Because I think that maybe because I feel like when she came out, she was coming out in these strong films. Because I saw the Out of Sight is really damn good, and so is like U-Turn, which was that Oliver Stone film she did. And,
sure.
But I don't think that she was doing J-Lo movies until after The Cell.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So at that point, I kind of
forget
feel
the timeline, but yeah, I hear you.
Like she was coming out strong in a way. And then all of a sudden, well, let's do chick flicks.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what she was known for.
Yeah, she gave that a swing for a while. Like, you know what I mean?
Because I think The Cell is one of her better films.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, when she was, like a lot of people, when they're shooting for that kind of, like, what's different, you know what I mean? And and things that they kind of really key in on that are creatively different. Like, Out of Sight's a different kind of movie, man. That's a different kind of story.
But you know what you're getting with that, too.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? With or without her.
Yeah.
So Soderbergh, that's
and it was an Elmore Leonard story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
it's
that
the same
thing.
world of Jackie Brown. Because, Michael Keaton reprises his role.
Is it the same character?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't realize.
Yeah, I forgot.
Fucking Elmore Leonard.
But yeah, I feel that even what's I'm trying to think of another movie, but yeah, I feel that that's something people should see. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's on Blu-ray, definitely check out the Blu-ray because that must be amazing in high def. And you know, D'Onofrio is in that too. So is Vince Vaughn. There's a really good cast.
Yeah.
You know, supporting her through that as well, and those costumes, man.
Those costumes. It's all about the costumes.
I mean, there's a scene where he's got horns coming
out.
All right.
Crazy. Uncle Jay, where can people find you?
At a bar.
At a bar near me. At a bar nowhere near you.
In J-Lo's house.
Oh. What are you working over there? Let's not get into it. Let's not do it. All right. So, let's just fucking wrap it up.
All right, man.
We'll take a quick break.
Riffing.
We'll come back for the live show.
She got some bread over there.
Yeah. Let's do that. I totally forgot about that fucking bread.
Parmesan bread?
Yeah. You guys were fucking running so late today. I totally got thrown off.
I met Uncle Jay's thing on the Twitters.
There you go.
Check out The Real Thing.
On Facebook.
Say hello to Wes Weezar. Give him a like. Mm-hmm. You know, friend him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's in touch with me.
Yeah. Well, that don't mean anything.
It means a lot.
No, it don't.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
Yes, it does.
All right, fine. Maybe a little bit. But like a little bit. But like a little bit.
In a Jeep, possibly drinking whiskey is where you find Jay. That motherfucker knows me too well. It's
See that? See that? Shit.
That's Barrow Fett. But listen.
The legend precedes you.
The after show is coming up.
Yeah.
Tell us your personal Star Wars Mount Rushmore.
There you go.
We're giving you guys a little thing.
Sounds good.
And I
like it.
I'm gonna go text Christian Slater and Jennifer Lopez.
See what they're doing.
See what they're doing.
See if they're listening.
Bitty bitty bomb bomb.
All right, so you can find Uncle Jay again at Uncle Jay's Thing on Twitter. You can find me at Wicked Theory, the show, wickedtheory.com, and wherever good podcasts are given away for free. Was that J-Lo texting you?
Yeah, it's J-Lo.
Oh, all right. That's so you. All right. We'll try to wrap up the after show
Jenny
quickly
from the
for
block.
You. Jenny from the block. Jenny from the Turnpike,
Jenny
maybe.
from the Turnpike.
Jenny from the highway shoulder. Which way are you going?
Jenny from the rest stop.
Jenny from the. There you go.
Yeah.
Jenny from the bus terminal. All right.
Glory hole.
Is it Jenny or Jimmy then? I don't know.
Easy.
So yeah. If you're listening live, stick around and you'll catch the after show. If you're not listening live, you can catch the after show over on our Patreon account for just $1 a month. You get access to all kinds of episodes and all kinds of good stuff over there with other tiers available. And I think that's going to take us out of here, kind of. And
stay tuned.
You know, I'll take us out with a little bit of this fucking music that I use all the time. And then, you know, we'll be back in a minute. In a few.
Mount Rushmore Star Wars. Who's the characters?
Yeah, and the other thing people miss out on too when it's live is they don't hear the middle, the intro, the intermission song that we always play. This is not the song. This is just our outro music for now.
I like the Empire Strikes Back Miko music.
Yeah, the disco remix. Some other day. Well, thank you for reminding me. We'll put it into the channels. I have something else queued up. All right, kids. Stick around if you're listening live. If you're not listening live, we'll see you soon.
Time for a refill.
Woohoo!
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.